One of the most overlooked forms of pollution is light pollution, which is defined as the brightening of the night sky caused by street lights and other man-made sources, which has a disruptive effect on natural cycles. Light pollution is often misunderstood as a problem that is unique to astronomers and stargazers. However, it has very real and negative effects on all manner of the environment. Light pollution has been proven to disrupt migration patterns of both birds and insects. Migration is a truly time-sensitive byproduct of millions of years of evolution, and disturbing this pattern has a catastrophic outcome in the mating habits and reproductive abilities of many different species. Birds that migrate at night are guided by the moon and the stars. Now, however, many of these birds are confused by artificial light and drawn into cities by the thousands. Often these birds become captured by the lights, meaning they circle the light sources endlessly, or at least until they crash into the buildings producing the light. Similarly, the migration patterns of insects are disrupted by these brightened cities, and while a lessened population of bugs may seem a happy consequence, it's important to remember that they are the foundation of many different ecosystems. Light pollution has caused higher mortality and lower birth rates as a result of these migration obstacles, and drawing that particular equation out on a long enough timeline spells extinction. It's not just flying animals either. Female sea turtles depend on darkness to bury their eggs, and many beaches are so inundated with terrestrial lights from cities, the turtles are often confused into not laying eggs. Compounding this dilemma is that baby sea turtles are instinctually drawn to the brightest source of light, which in nature is the refracted glow of the horizon off the sea. Light pollution is so bad that many hatchlings now turn inland towards human populations and never enter the sea. In Florida alone, the number of turtles lost to light confusion number in the hundreds of thousands per year. Newly released studies have shown that biologically, humans are not immune from this ubiquitous exposure to light either. These studies have proven that there is a direct correlation to higher proportions of breast cancer in brightly lit nighttime neighborhoods. It is hypothesized that this stems from the disruption of our circadian rhythms and that the ability to produce melatonin, a cancer protective agent, is severely diminished in people that are often exposed to light at night. One of the reasons that light pollution is overlooked is that its effects are neither overly dramatic nor instantaneous. The simplest and most rhetorical solution is to turn off the lights. This would alleviate 100% of the problem. However, caught as we are in the human condition, this is not a very feasible solution. Curtailing nightlife or the nighttime economy isn't actually viable, and some amounts of light pollution will obviously continue to exist. However, there are fundamental reduction techniques that can abate the levels of artificial light we waste in lighting the air, which will also reduce the amount of money we spend lighting our homes and cities. Thus, a more realistic solution is to cap lights to deflect the man-made light earthward, which in effect makes the light more usable for us. Motion lights illuminate only when needed, and lower wattage bulbs save energy and reduce the amount of light output. Here, it's interesting to note that brighter lights don't necessarily increase safety. Bright lights create dark shadows, which ultimately reduce safety as hazing caused by lighting air impugns our ability to see. Putting lights on dimmers is another solution. Solutions as simple as closing curtains at night also have the obvious benefit of maintaining the light in the areas desired and reducing the amount of pollution by not allowing the light to get outside. Many people, including the environmentally conscious, often view light pollution as a quote-unquote soft issue. The irony is that it's called soft because it is solvable, yet it hasn't been solved. Moreover, the solutions are realistic, basically unlimited, and ultimately financially responsible. The argument against abatement of light pollution as non-important is founded in apathy, and solving this soft problem could prove a catalyst in attacking issues more pressing to public sentiment. All too often, solutions for pollution are expensive and/or usher in an uncomfortable change in most facets of business or life. Dimming the lights, pointing them down, or turning them out all serve as cost savers, and they don't offer dynastic change, as humans are, after all, diurnal. Pragmatically, illuminating the air wastes money. Less money spent on lighting the night sky would result in less need for fossil fuels to power the lights, or lessen the implementation of damming rivers to produce hydroelectric energies. The vicarious reduction of both of these would then start to lessen our pollution of the soil, air, and waterways. This chain reaction would surely have detractors, such as power companies or those corporations invested in extracting fossil fuels, but beyond the greater good of the planet's population being served more naturally, the reduction in our energy bills would be a stimulus that no economist could argue with.